Here is the mission statement from womensmarch.com. The mission of Women's March is to harness the political power of diverse women in their communities to create transformative social change. Women's March is a women-led movement providing intersectional education on a diverse range of issues and creating entry points for new grassroots activists and organizers to engage in their local communities through trainings, outreach programs, and events. Women's March is committed to dismantling systems of oppression through nonviolent resistance and building inclusive structures guided by self-determination, dignity, and respect. What does any of that mean? They get a bit more specific later on, but this just shows you how out of touch they are. The first principle that they list is ending violence. They write, women deserve to live full and healthy lives free of all forms of violence against our bodies. Just to correct the record here, women live significantly longer than men on average. By the end of the 20th century, the U.S. male life expectancy was 73.4 years compared to 80.1 years for women. Unlike men, when women register to vote, they don't simultaneously have to register for the military draft. Men are far more likely to be the victims of violent crime than women. 76.8% of murder victims are male. Boys and men are far more likely than girls and women to be victims of assault and robbery as well. Additionally, according to the Gallup World Poll, women report being happier with their lives than their male counterparts. Womensmarch.com goes on to the euphemistically titled reproductive rights. They say, we believe in reproductive freedom. We do not accept any federal, state, or local rollback, cuts, or restrictions on our ability to access quality reproductive health care services, birth control, HIV/AIDS prevention, or medically accurate sexuality education. This means open access to safe, legal, affordable abortion and birth control for all people. So it's just about abortion. They put all that other stuff there, but it's really about abortion. And yet, according to a 2016 Marist poll, despite constant Democrat euphemisms renaming abortion as women's issues or reproductive health, nationally, the vast majority of women, 77%, support restricting abortion to at most the first trimester. Far fewer, just 71% of men, support restrictions on abortion. The women are clearer. The majority of women, 59%, say abortion is morally wrong. 52% of women believe that abortion should at most, be permitted in cases of rape, incest, or to save the life of the mother. But nevertheless, according to the Women's March, women want abortion on demand, anytime, any place. It just isn't backed up by reality. On workers' rights, womensmarch.com declares, we believe in an economy powered by transparency, accountability, security, and equity. All women should be paid equitably. And you hear this constantly, this popular disinformation that there's a gender pay gap. Women make 77 cents on the dollar. No equal pay for equal work. But that gender pay gap disappears once you control for factors like education, time in the industry, and hours worked. Single childless women in metropolitan areas, they don't earn less than their male counterparts, they earn more than their male counterparts by 8% on average. Nationally, women also graduate from college at significantly higher rates than men. In 2015, 39% of women 25 to 29 had earned a bachelor's degree compared to just 32% of men. On civil rights, womensmarch.com explains, we believe civil rights are our birthright, including voting rights. This is odd to pick a fight on voting rights, as according to the Center for American Women in Politics, since 1980, women have voted at higher rates in every single presidential election than men. So by 2016, that gap widened to 63.3% of women voting compared to just 59.3% of men. Additionally, the number of female voters has exceeded the number of male voters in every presidential election since 1964. Despite constituting a majority of the U.S. population, 50.8% to 49.2%, women also benefit from affirmative action policies on campus and in the workplace that give them a competitive advantage over men. There's a section on disability rights. Womensmarch.com proclaims, we believe that all women's issues are issues faced by women with disabilities and deaf women. I guess that one's right, isn't it? I guess that's fair. Deaf women are still women. I don't know what the point of that is, but sure, that's the one thing that the Women's March got right. Deaf women are women. On immigrant rights, Womensmarch.com insists, rooted in the promise of America's call for huddled masses yearning to breathe free, we believe in immigrant and refugee rights, regardless of status or country of origin. We believe migration is a human right and that no human being is illegal. So putting aside for a moment the illogic of a national policy to do away with national borders, even on the numbers, the Women's March doesn't seem to represent women. Even among illegal aliens brought to the United States as children and teenagers, even the Dreamers, the most sympathetic and relentlessly demagogued group of illegal aliens, a November survey from Morning Consult and Politico shows that fewer than 30% of Americans support amnesty. Even among Democrats, support for granting amnesty to the most sympathetic group of illegal aliens is just 44%. Finally, last segment on environmental justice, womensmarch.com observes, "We believe that every person and every community in our nation has the right to clean water, clean air, and access to and enjoyment of public lands." Lucky for them, federal law has protected all of those things, to say nothing of state and local management, for at least the past 5 decades. The Women's March is the most frivolous protest in the history of the world.